Wow. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning to the Honorable Tan Sri Dr. Zeti, Professor Joe Cherian, CEO, President Dean of ASB, members of the ASB Board of Governors, ASB Board of Directors, honorable guests, esteemed faculty, beloved families and loved ones, and of course, graduating students, EMBA 24. When I was voted as a class speaker, I told EMBA 24, I'm not doing this alone. This is going to be our final assignment together as a cohort, so let's do it together. So today, this speech isn't just mine, it's a team effort. So thank you for sharing your inspiration, encouragement, and memories with me. I'll try my best to do as proud. And a special shout out to Moira, who kindly reminded me that I have stage fright, something I had completely forgotten due to all of the class participations that we had to do. Until that reminder, thanks friend, really appreciate it. We begin this journey, all 24 of us, on 28 August 2023. But before I go any further, I'd like to take a moment to honor someone very dear to us, Muhammad Hasari bin Mahyudin, whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called home on 27 April 2024. Arwah Hasari was a thoughtful brother, always smiling, always generous with his time. He never hesitated to share helpful tips, always notes, calming words during our most stressful weeks. And Lina, he even offered us to eat at his place in MIT because he said you would cook. He brought lightness and sincerity to every encounter, every group discussions. He wasn't just part of our cohort, he was part of our experience. As we celebrate today, we also make dua for him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him the highest place in Jannah, and may his family be granted strength and peace. We are grateful to have known him, and we carry his memory forward with us. As I was scrolling through our photos and your submissions, EMBA 24, to piece this speech together, I had to pause because, wow, my head hurts. How did we survive this? Today isn't just about graduating with a degree, it's about surviving deadlines. It's about balancing studies. In between football tournaments, swim meets, gymnastic competitions, personal losses, fur babies getting sick, job changes, role transitions, promotion, and occasionally, if not always, marriage-worthy counseling group discussions. We laughed, we cried, we screamed into pillows, and then we hit submit at 11:59, like the legends that we are. Let's be real. We are trauma bonded for life. Some of us cried on the edge, literally. Some of us wanted to defer. And all of us, at some point, became the voice that said, you've got this. And one of us, Daphne, even created life during this program. To our class president, our youngest, the one who taught us that maturity does not necessarily come with age. Thank you for keeping this ship afloat together with our co-president Nizam. Thank you for your WhatsApp's reminders, and to our legendary Excel sheet that saved our assignment deadlines more times than we can count. This was hard, and we got here by sacrificing a lot. We were the chaotic bunch, laughing at absolutely nothing in Vietnam next to a purple fur dog, doing viral TikTok dances, hosting Tom Yum pizza party, and not to forget, swimming in the Charles River. We took Jenga, stress breaks before presentations, did daily reports on the moving bus while suppressing motion sickness, and survived late-night presentations and PowerPoint edits in between taking work calls before and after humanly acceptable hours. We really trauma bonded. When we signed up for the ASB MIT Executive MBA, we thought we were getting a classroom, a syllabus, a few case studies, and maybe a certificate for surviving financial accounting. Sure, the website said action learning, but let's be honest, most of us are skeptical. What we got instead was a program designed to make us think, to challenge assumptions, to take the world apart and ask, what if we didn't just manage the business, but re-engineer the way we live and lead? We weren't just solving cases in classes, we were out there on the ground, tackling real-world problems in industry different than ours, under pressure with a new set of peers every single time. And then, even the most mundane tasks like weekly reflections turned out to be surprisingly meaningful. Looking back, those were the moments we zoom out from PowerPoints and zoom in on ourselves. We also discovered that platform thinking isn't just for Grab or Airbnb. It also applies to aunties and uncles promoting their sons under the umbrella at matchmaking meetups in parks in China. We learned that every problem has the potential to be an equation, and if it can be modeled, it can be optimized. It sounds simple, but it's profound, because that means solutions aren't just about working harder. It's also about designing smarter. And we learned that it's not just enough to patch problems, you have to close the loop. Whether it's reinforcing or balancing feedback, the decision we make echo across time and systems. Leadership isn't just about intent, it's also about long-term impact. As Socrates once said, the unexamined life is not worth living. Just when we thought we were done, along came Professor Shardul. His capstone session started with soggy vegetables, surplus food, and supply chain inefficiencies. But somewhere between the sweat, data, and discomfort, something shifted. We walked in expecting a case on the supply chain, but we walked out asking ourselves, what is the footprint I'm leaving behind, not just as a leader, but as a human being? It reframed our understanding of leadership not as authority, but as stewardship, not just about what we achieve, but what we sustain. The quiet, confronting moment in class that everyone had, the tissues being passed around, that was the real capstone, the one that made us think deeply about impact. As Donald Shern reminded us, the reflective practitioner isn't defined by having the right answers, but by being able to think in action and on action. And that's what the program gave us, the space to think, to unlearn, and to lead more consciously. To our professors, what truly set this program apart was you. We could feel your passion, your joy, your genuine love for teaching every time you walk into the room or onto Zoom. Your excitement was infectious, and your dedication made us want to learn not just for the grades, but for growth. You taught with heart, and because of that, we learn with purpose. But none of this would have been possible also without the people who supported us through it all. To our spouses, partners, families, bosses, colleagues, and fur babies, thank you for your patience, your pep talks, and for carrying the invisible load while we chase transformation. Thank you for covering for us during exams, immersions, and late nights. I'll sleep right after this. To our sponsors, and for me personally, Yayasan Saim Darby, thank you so much for making this possible. Please keep paying for my education. This certificate may have our names on it, but these graduations, it belongs to you too. To our academic advisors, thank you so much for pushing deadlines, calming our chaos, and never judging our panic. You helped us survive what we thought the unsurvivable. To the program office, thank you for your endless help, late replies, early responses, and for always being that gentle nudge or sometimes shove that got us through the fog. We also want to honor the leadership that shaped our experience. To Professor Sanjay Sarma, thank you for building more than a curriculum. You built a culture. You treated us as equals, and that meant more than you know. For many of us who grew up in Asia, this was an eye-opening experience, one that challenged long-held norms and showed us how empowering mutual respect can be. You gave us the space to grow boldly, think fearlessly, and lead with heart. ASB is better because of you, and so are we. And to Professor Joe Churian, our corporate finance whisperer, finance philosopher, post-exam pizza supplier, you made finance digestible and delicious. You showed us that smart leadership can come with kindness and carbs. You fed us, and that's love right there. We're excited for where you will lead ASB next. And now, to each other. We didn't just share classes, guys. We shared breakdowns, breakthroughs, flights, fights, and our millions woohoos, followed by always uncontrollable fits of laughter. We came in as individuals. We lived as friends who became family. We argued, supported, learned, challenged, and most importantly, finished strong. As our system dynamics professor, Johan Chu, told us, get off the bus now. And this time, we do. Not as passengers, but each and every one of us, as leaders ready to shape system, shift mindset, and serve something bigger than ourselves. In Professor Sanjay's words, to become wizards, sorcerers, and distributed saints, shaping the future. Now, in the immortal word of legal scholar and deeply underrated philosopher L. Woods, we did it! EMBA 2024, we really did. Congratulations. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
A big hand, ladies and gentlemen, to Yusrina binti Mohd Yusoff.